another foreign. I just don't want all this foreign shit in me.
Yeah, but you go to a doctor, they're gonna give you drugs because that's what they do. They peddle drugs. You go to a surgeon, of course you need. Huh? I guess we're on. Hi. Welcome to Essential Living with Pilar. Essential Living, for those who've never watched it, is a show about all the essentials of life, all things holistic, all things that help us live in a better balance with more awareness, elevate our consciousness to create a better life on the planet for ourselves and the planet. So today, being that we are in this special time of year, we're going to spend some time talking about the spirit of the season. There's a double side to that. There's the season of winter, what we would call getting to the dead of winter, where everything is dormant and quiet and darker because we go within, nature goes within, introspective, reflective, preparing for the new things to come in the new year. So, as well as that, then we all fall upon the holiday season. For regardless of whatever holidays you celebrate, pretty much all of them fall around this time, or every culture and philosophy has their holiday time come around at this time. And in and of itself, that coincides perfectly with the flow of nature, because the holidays are holy days. That is where holiday comes from. Sometimes, our language really tells you everything very clearly. We just have grown so accustomed to it that we don't notice it. And the holy part doesn't mean religious. It's not a religious connotation, even though it's given that. But it is a spiritual connotation where we access our deepest wisdom. And we do that by going within. And that is the natural flow of things. However, our culture has made it so that in the past several years, or over time, progressively, this holiday season has run over that introspective attitude of going within and really being in that holy space of our own spirit within, to get the answers and the guidance and the energy that we need to build up to create the new coming life for the new year, by creating this artificial mayhem of external output. So it's really pulled us little by little, with our permission, conscious or unconscious, out of that holy inward time into this mayhem of materialist consumerism. And it's really gotten out of hand. So I really wanted to touch upon that for all of us, to whoever at least is exposed to this perspective can at least do something for themselves to change that. Marketing is really everything, and there's very manipulative, and everybody gets pulled into this lemming-like craziness of having to go out there and buy. I mean, Black Friday has become this monstrosity. And now it's beyond that. It's not even Black Friday. It's the pre-sale before the sale, before the sale, before the sale, get the deal before the deal, before the deal, before the deal. So Black Friday now is creeping into Thursday and Wednesday and the whole week. And then it goes over Saturday, Sunday, and then there's Cyber Monday. And then it's not too late. And come now. And so it's this like ridiculous mayhem of stress to really get people to live beyond their comfort zone, materialistic, financially, because it gets pulled in this tidal wave of insanity, totally, completely, almost 100% away from the true nature of the time and the season and the holy days of this time of year. It totally goes against the flow of nature. And that is always what I want to bring up in these episodes as the time goes, because it's not just this time. It's happening really all the time, but this particular time of year becomes, instead of being a joyful expression of unity and wisdom and being at peace, like the nature kingdom does, because it really goes within, into this very uncomfortable time that most of the time we just want to get it over with and just get through it and just get to the other side. So I remember growing up when, I think this all started with malls, because there was a time that you shopped within the weekdays, within a reasonable amount of time. Things closed at 6 o'clock. People went home, spent time with their families, with their friends. They had leisure time. There was more of a balance. And now it's this 24/7 chaos that if, your phone dinging with all these stupid little advertisements of, take advantage of this now, and it's not too late. And, all of that BS that we get connected unless we really choose to unplug and put it away, if we have the strength to do that, which I recommend we develop. Otherwise, it's this suck of our attention from where it really would need to be. It's a time to, yes, go within, to enjoy the company of like-minded people, to gather with reverence to life and with introspection. Really at the tail end of the harvest season, just to reassess and reevaluate and regroup about what happened in the year before, what did we create, what did we not complete, what yielded a bountiful harvest, what was not so bountiful, what would we want to repeat and recultivate, replant, recultivate, or just weed out altogether. And people have gotten into this tidal wave of materialism and hyperactivity that the true nature of that enjoyment of the soul, going within and really being in touch with that special aspect of us, it has really thinned out into almost non-existence through the great mess of just excess and just getting away from the core of what's important. So today I want to invite you to press the pause button on yourself. And I'm specifically talking to yourself because you can't control anybody else in your world, but you can't control you. And you can't control how you choose your energy. And don't say no, because it's like, well, I have family and friends and this, that, activities, and yes, but you are your own controller. So at some point, and hopefully you decide that this season, considering the state of affairs in the world altogether, do we want to continue to go down this slide like lemmings and do what everybody else does, or do we want to build the strength within us to shift, at least for ourselves, the experience? just be the compassionate observer, but at least save yourself from that and regain and get yourself back to you so you can create the life you want for you in your own world, in your own space. And, all of that ties into that's why all these so-called New Year resolutions, nobody can keep them for any longer than 2 weeks because they're not grounded in a true intention. They're just the after effect, the side effect of all the damage that was done haphazardly and carelessly by running roughshod over yourself all year long. So I want to invite you to make a shift. And as of today, hopefully, start thinking more about the actual true nature of this time of year versus what is going on out there externally. This is the time to say, okay, this is the year that I had. I started last year with these intentions or these goals, these resolves of change or new things or whatnot. I accomplished this. I didn't accomplish those. Is it really to take personal inventory and see what you want to do to go from here? And I would invite you to look at all aspects of your life and really give yourself that space of quiet. You're going to really need to divorce yourself from some habits that you have let yourself slip into. But, nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? So let's start with a couple of things. There's more to life than the external. Most of our lives comes from how we operate on a moment-to-moment basis within. It's an inside job. Our world around us is a reflection of what's going on inside us. So, and our life is multifaceted. We can't just say, well, it's my body, so I want to lose 10 pounds, 20 pounds, or gain 10 or 20 pounds, whatever it is in your case. It is more, what do I want to do better for my health? What do I want to do about my relationships? What are my relationships now doing? Are they relationships that feed me or take away from me? Do they lift me up or do they bring me down? So it's something to think about what you want to cultivate or maintain. And what you don't want to do, bottom line, is you don't want to bring your garbage from 2017 into 2018. So you're going to have to do some pruning and paring down of yourself and your habits and what you have become in the last year to make room and till your soil for the next year and what you want to plant new. Because if we don't learn from, not mistakes, from things that, we don't want to choose again, then, we're in this constant tragic loop, really, that doesn't really accomplish anything. So from year to year, we just go on to this decline instead of flourishing and thriving and improving. So, your relationship with yourself, your relationship with your family, your relationship with your friends, your coworkers, whatever, the world at large. What do you do for yourself spiritually? Do you connect with that? And I'm not talking religious here. I'm talking really, do you go and access your inner wisdom on a regular basis? What obstacles do you put in front of yourself? What obstacles do you need to remove to go forward? And all these things are part of your personal inventory. So that is all things that would be good to take time out of that busyness and just take time to be quiet. Take time to access your own inner guidance. So nobody can do it for you. So this is going to have to be something that you decide you're going to dig your heels, and in spite of your friends and family pulling you in many directions, you're going to have to just make your choices for yourself. And that may annoy some people, but that may bring other people to you that are better company for you, that you may want to start spending more of your time and energy with. It depends. So again, this all should be personal. This all should be quiet. Nothing you need to be pontificating about to anybody else, but just something to work on yourself. I know that's what I like to spend my time doing, and that's going to bring up a lot of stuff, but that's the point. That's the point of that introspection, and just to be grateful for that opportunity to make those choices and to develop that confidence and trust in yourself that if you make those decisions based on that holistic you, that means that you address all parts of you, that, and you're not going to be perfect, but is to really balance your life and how you live it and your daily habits. That'll make a difference in the following year. So I'm going to give you some homework. So if you don't have it, oh, by the way, in general, I would ask or suggest that, when you watch this show, for those of you who do, and those of you who do, thank you. Always have a little notebook. Create a little essential living notebook for yourself. And just jot down some things that might be useful to you. And that way you can keep track of yourself as you go through the year. And just check off what works and what doesn't, and make it a fun thing. Okay? So things to do before, you have really a month before the end of the year. So in that time, you can accomplish a lot. They say it takes 21 days to break or create a habit. So if you start building upon it now, at least in your mind and in your feelings, just see how you want to feel. That's the other thing. Because we always have the list that we make for things we want to do. So it's action-based. It's like, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. But it's all external. So I want to flip that coin for you and ask you to make this time, or at least a portion of this time, about how you want to feel in the next year. And feelings rule. Beliefs and feelings rule, because how you feel dictates your body chemistry and how your body reacts to things, what emotional habits you have due to the thoughts you think and the feelings you feel attached to those thoughts. And, it becomes a circle. So how do you want to feel in the next year, more than what do you want to have and do and be? Because if you feel good, if you feel balanced, if you feel centered, if you feel whole, complete and content and strong, then everything radiates from that. You make better decisions, better choices, are more grounded. You're not so easily swayed by externals. So for your homework, I want you to take some inventory of yourself and make a list. Make a list of about you, a personal, internal attribute or feeling list. What do you want to let go of? What is it that you don't want to bring? What is the crap that you don't want to bring from 2017 into 2018? So what is it that you are just have had enough with? What is it that you don't want any more of? What are you done with? It's not so much necessary, but what are you done with? What are you complete with? What do you want to let go? And what behaviors would you like to let go of? What feelings don't you want to be repeating? So the things that you want to release, put on the one side. And then on the other side, and make that on the same page so you can see it, and you can see how many there are. On the other side, what do you want to feel in 2018? Who is the new you that you want to cultivate? What new projects would you like to do? What new fun things would you like to do? What adventures would you like to go on? And they don't have to be major, but maybe one thing that you want to learn new. Make that list. What would make you feel more complete, more alive? What relationships do you want to cultivate? What attitudes do you want to have? What behaviors do you want to? Who do you want to be? Who's the ideal you? What is the highest expression of yourself that you can imagine for 2018? And make a list of those intentions. But when you make a list of those intentions from that deeply grounded, introspective, wise being of you, then you have a better chance of having it be long lasting and be part of your lifestyle versus like a temporary little quickie diet or this or that, or things that never happen. They just fizzle out by February, and then you're back in the same the same self-disappointment, because those resolutions were really not really based on that deeper core of you. So I want to invite you to please make a point of doing that, because by you doing this in your own world, if you really do it, your life gets better. If your life gets better, then the life of those around you gets better, and the things that you produce and experience get better. So it has a radiating effect on your world and your vortex and your sphere of influence. And that's really all you have control over. So I want you to make that list, work on it all month long, maybe before you go to sleep at night, assess your day, add one thing to the side or to one side or the other, and just sit in meditation for a little while. And by that, you don't need to sit cross-legged or do any of that. Just sit quietly with yourself alone with no distractions, and really go into that void of nothingness, when there's nothing pulling your attention this way or that way. So you can actually sit still long enough and unwind enough to be quiet enough to access that deeper wisdom, that still small voice within, the voice that whispers. And it's important to listen to the voice that whispers before it becomes a loud scream or a ton of bricks falling over your head to get your attention, because your higher self, and you do have one, we all do, that you can call it your God within, your spirit, it's really you. It's the part of you that is not in the physical smallest part of you, is the infinite you. And being in this physical body, we have lost our consciousness of that, but you know what I mean. If you're watching this, you know what I mean. That has to come through, but you have to be quiet enough to listen to it. So at the end of the day, get this list done. And don't show it to other people. Just do it for yourself. And make it a holy day for you, every day, because you're accessing that special, all-encompassing part of you, that infinite part of you that has all the answers for you that nobody else can give you. And make it a ritual, a holy day ritual. And on New Year's Eve, burn it. Because the intention of burning that list, just let it burn it, and just let the smoke go up. Burn it outside, preferably. Make sure that you don't set any fires. Be aware, be responsible. But the act of burning those intentions sort of releases it etherically into spirit. So the message is sent into that higher aspect. And it's just a ritual. It's really just a way to focus yourself into releasing all of those things into spirit, your spirit. So there's nobody else is in charge of your experience other than you. So I would say that would be at least something that you can do that'll offset the mayhem of the external pull of this time of year. And maybe if you allow yourself to do that, you might actually enjoy the holiday season, whatever holiday you celebrate, in more in the real way of what it was intended, is to really spend that time in introspection and being in gratitude for the life you have and the privileges you have, the opportunities you have, and just to be grateful for being alive. And if you change the way you live a little, you might actually enjoy your life more. So that's the purpose of it. So let me make sure that I don't forget anything. Yeah, so do that. Of course, if you have somebody that you can share that with and you can get them interested in doing something like that too, by all means, do it. And you'll know who is available for something like that. But do it for yourself, please. It'll be so worth it. And it'll start the year with that new sense of purpose that we all have, because during this time of year, there is a lot of sacred energy in the air, because the fact that nature is going within, there is that spiritual aspect that comes through if we let it. So enjoy that part of it. Be connected to that part of it. It is a time of reflection, introspection, gifts. The gifts are the gifts you get from the wisdom of within, of the gifts of wisdom that are going to give you the guidance and the impetus to start your new year the way you want to live it, versus the material gifts that we've gone crazy over. And I just want to point out some of my representations here, because they are symbolic. They're not just ornamentations. They really are symbolic of what I'm suggesting here. So go within, like Gautama Buddha, so you can release all the garbage that you don't need, which is represented by the goddess Kali, who burns the human miscreations to make way for a rebirth. That releases all your obstacles, which are represented by Ganesh. And that allows you to be in tune with your higher wisdom, enough for your mind to have the crystal ball clarity to receive the guidance that you need, for a strong foundation of the pyramid, which is you, so you can make an easier climb to the top of the mountain. So on that thought, I wish you the happiest, most holy days. Go within, enjoy being with you. Talk less, feel more. And think about how you want to feel. What do you want to do to feel differently for 2018? And being able to radiate that positivity, however you want to call it, to yourself and the world around you, and sustain it. So with that, I will bid you good night, and I will see you next year. And I look forward to seeing what you've done with my suggestions. If you want to, I invite you to give me feedback by sending me an email to essentiallivingwithpilar@gmail.com. Again, this is the name of the show, essentiallivingwithpilar@gmail.com. If you're so inclined. If not, that's okay. But if you do, I would love to hear from you. And I hope that this is useful for you. And on that note, happy holy days to whatever holiday you celebrate the holiness within. Good night. And thank you. And thank you for Thurston County Media for providing this space and this venue so we can all connect and make our lives better. And all my wonderful family here that makes this possible. Thank you and good night.